Amazing. Looking good, brother.
You too, bro. You looking real good, man. Staying fit, healthy.
Let me bring this down. We don't need to hear any music. We want to see Brother Dave.
Got that timeless, healthy glow.
Yes, yes. And I've been out in the sun. I've been working.
You need that vitamin D.
Oh, yeah, getting it every single day. You know it, brother. You know it. Yeah. You know it. And we have so much to talk about today. This is part 2 of the show that we did before. Not the private conversation, but the one that is titled this particular segment. And I put part 2 because it's a continuation. Now we want to have it interactive, because if you go, Brother Dave, you'll be able to see the comment section up, and we're gonna rock this way. Okay. And like I said, let's just jump right into it. This is more of a kamikaze thing because we didn't schedule it and promote it and put it out to the open like that. So folks are going to be surprised when they see this particular episode up, but they will file in when they get the alert. And this is a wonderful thing. So I'll be here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here vibing with you. And I just want to make sure that, okay, good. It is what it is. So now I'm going to distribute this particular link on the phone while we talk. But I'm so thankful for you to be here, brother. You mean so much to me. You've helped me along the way just by your very presence. And I just want to say that, whatever it is that I have become, you have helped to undergird that, whether you know it or not. Many people have people that influence them, and they move on, they lose contact, some transition, and they never get a chance to say thank you. I just want to tell you, thank you for the influence that you've had over my life to help mold me into the person that I am. Yes, of course, there are other people, but if I didn't have you in my life, I wouldn't be the me that I am today.
Lance, you are who you are because you've chosen to be that person, and you share that. And just as you're thanking me for what I've done for you and sharing with you, I also have that same gratifying spirit towards you. You mean so much to me, and you know that, and I look forward to the relationship growing. I'm so glad that you made the return home.
Yes.
And, and our influence that's there is pretty strong, and I'll be glad when that connection is made so that they can help you.
Yes, and tomorrow it's going to happen. Tomorrow, or actually later on today. And I have a reason why I was so busy, but I'll explain that off of the camera.
No, but you don't have to. But it's amazing because we are right where we're supposed to be because we've chosen to be where we are. And so not only do I thank you, my family thanks you. And you are very, very special. And you and I have never physically, and we've talked about this many times, we never physically met, but we've never not known each other.
There you go.
I remember the first time that I spoke to you. I remember the first message that you sent me. It was during the time that we were on a different radio show, and you reached out to me, and right away, I already knew who you were. And it was just I was like, wow, I need to call this brother. And Lance and I talked that day. I remember I was driving from Seattle, Washington, back to Los Angeles.
Wow, what a drive.
Yes. Lance was with me on that drive for about 3 hours, Lance and I talked. And we just vibed, and the confirmation was sealed. And so much love to you, the queen, the family, and we are here for each other, and really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
So we wanted to do part 2, and I think it's very important that we do part 2 because I want to share some things with your audience, and then also give some things that I think that is necessary for where we are to prepare. One of your shows, you talked about how are we really ready for a fight, and you talked about individuals. Be careful, You know, you really want this fight. And I will tell you, our community is not, just because you're not ready for a fight doesn't mean that one won't come. But what happens is this: it's better to prepare for one. So if it does arrive, you will have a better position of advantage. That's what you want to do in every fight. You know, boxing. Boxing is a very strategical engagement, violent strategical engagement. And you need a strategy. But as Mike Tyson said, all the strategy goes out the window once you get punched in the face. The great Mike Tyson. And Mike is absolutely right. But you should try to still have a strategy, because you can train, right? You can prepare for a fight. You can prepare your family to be able to endure hardship. But as a father and as a mother, our first obligation and responsibility is to protect our children.
That's right.
And so we owe it. We have a responsibility to be gainfully prepared. And this system has taught us to be the perfect consumers, so that we're not in a position really to meet the obstacles and the intended attacks in a way that will be as more advantageous for us, putting us in a position of advantage. And because of that, we generally are ones that are disenfranchised. So I want to talk about some things that I think that we should be doing right now. You and your family should be doing right now. Lance and I have done this many, many times before. We've done a couple of shows doing this, but now is a critical time for us to do that as well. And that we're going to do that. But I want to jump into part two. But before we do that, yesterday, last night, or early this morning, is really what it was. Because Lance is really nocturnal. I know a couple of brilliant people, and Lance is one, and they're extremely nocturnal. Lance is, you could call Lance at any time. He's most likely up in the, late at night, Yes. But yesterday, we talked about, and I wanted to re-emphasize this before we jump into this show. I know the importance of collective prudence. It's so important that the universal law works off of that. The great creator has a collective prudence economy, okay? The trees give off oxygen, and we allow the trees to breathe, right?
That's right.
Earth produces the capability to grow food. And we're to partake of that food, but we're also supposed to give back. Right. Right. And then this is where I talked about we have to stop eating the fruit without feeding the roots. And yesterday, someone said in the comments, why is he cursing Lance's followers? And I want to address that real quickly.
You weren't cursing anybody.
Well, no, I want to address it. And this is what I will say.
And please do. Take your time.
I will always curse a leech. Because a leech is cursing you once they attach themselves to a host. And I say that for this reason. We are all going through difficult financial times. Everyone has different means. What Lance puts out is time consuming, which is energy, which is a form of money. And there is an actual cost to Lance to do this. And what I was basically saying, I wanted to employ as many people to just give Lance whatever it is that you can from time to time. Because when Lance puts out a video or Lance brings something to you, he's always, if you ever notice, Lance always talks about a banquet, feeding. Because Lance knows that it is a part of who he is to feed. and he's to provide the tree that is going to bear great fruit. But I will tell you, you cannot pick all of the fruit from the tree, else the tree will die. You have to feed the roots. So this is why I said that it's important for us, and many of you got it. You know how important it is. If you can, do whatever you can. Send Lance something, because the brother has made the transformation back to the motherland so that he can be more grounded to bring you better content and to serve you even more. And I know that we can do some of the smallest things, because I know that we have wasted some of our energy on things that we should have never, ever have given our energy to before. Lance is deserving of our energy. And so that's what I was trying to get across. And I know that everyone pretty much got that. But I wanted to address that one comment, because I think it's very important that there is a proper representation. I'm speaking about leeches. And I'll give you a story real quick. Very powerful one. I talked to you, Lance, earlier we talked about this 5 years ago. Malcolm X and Dr. King. Many people during Malcolm's time said they were followers of Malcolm, absolutely loved Malcolm, okay? And I understand, because Malcolm was for the people. And I said to Lance, Lance, you know, one thing that we always have to be careful of is we have to be careful of overextending ourselves. Because the people will expect us to treat them like Jesus while they kiss us like Judas. And this is what I mean by that. And they will. The people will. Followers will. And I'm not specifically talking to the people that follow you. If you are an individual that resonate well with Lance and you really care about Lance, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those that bring no oil in their lamp and want Lance's lamp oil, right?
Right.
So Malcolm was extremely loved by the people because of what he did for the people, right? He gave his life. When Malcolm was assassinated, and all the people cried, and the people that he was trying to elevate and move forward, all those people were upset, mad, hurt, said they loved Malcolm. But did they really care about Malcolm? History shows that they didn't. Our community didn't. Here's why. When Malcolm needed the community the most, Betty and the girls were evicted and faced eviction many a time. Betty had to go out and get a job. Where was the support of everyone that loved Malcolm so much? In the community, I'm not talking about his intimate friends, but those intimate friends as well. There were some intimate friends that did what they could do. Coretta Scott King, on Malcolm's assassination, Dr. King and Coretta said, Betty, a check, right? The financial support that Betty received was from Malcolm's attorney. But where was the people that Malcolm was fighting for? You know what happened? Malcolm's life was all about what you could do for me, and that was it. Those are leeches. And that's what we have to break ourselves from, because we've been indoctrinated to do that. Because we've been indoctrinated to follow leaders. Let me tell you something about leaders. I'm not a leader. I don't follow leaders because of this. If you look at the root word of a leader, this is how it works. Go to a pet store and ask them for a lead. They're going to take you to a section. It's going to be a collar that you place around the dog's neck to domesticate the dog. You've seen it, Lance, where you are. That is known as a lead. And we continuously want leaders. And every lead is attached to a leash, which pulls on the lead. So the leash pulls on the leader. And what is the leash attached to? someone else that's not attached, that doesn't have the collar. There's a third party in this whole thing. So this is why it's important for us to break our cycle of what we've been schooled with. We've been taught to take and not to give. We've been taught that we need a leader and we don't need collective prudence. Because when you have collective prudence, you know that you've been taking from something. Now it's time for you to do what? To give back. Because what happens is with the fruit that you will eat will become your poison. It will become your poison, and it will consume you. And it will consume you. So our interactions with one another really dictates our prosperity. And I would love for us to have a more holistic relationship that the great creator had put for us to choose. If we choose not to do it, we don't. But we follow man's rule. And that is where we find ourselves extorting, taking, consuming, taking more than what's owed or what's due, and expecting that always that fruit tree to always bear us fruit. And the minute it doesn't, guess what we do? Let me go find another tree to pluck from, to pull from.
Yeah.
So that's what yesterday was about. So now, let's jump into today's show. So what I want to do real quick, I would like to read something.
Sure. That's what I'm going to do, Brother Dave. I'm going to run to the kitchen and get some water. The sun really pulled a lot out of me today. I'm going to mute myself. And right? Exactly, right? And I'm going to put you solo screen while you read, but I'm coming right back. I'm right. I just don't want to make any noise and interrupt anything. So I'm going to mute the sound, and I'm going to hit you right here and make you solo. Go ahead and start. Okay, there it is.
So I think this is very important. And then I'll tell you who the author is in a minute. Oh, I think we lost it, Lance. No, I think we're all right. All right.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. So listen, everyone. Very important. This infamous decision of the slave-holding wing of the Supreme Court maintains that slaves are within the confrontation of the Constitution of the United States, property, that slaves are property, in the same sense that horses, sheep, and swine are property. That the old doctrine that slavery is a creature of local law is false. That the right of the slave holder to his slave does not depend upon the local law, but is secured wherever the Constitution of the United States extends. That Congress has no right to prohibit slavery anywhere. That slavery may go into safe anywhere under the Star-Spangled Banner. That colored person of African descent has no rights that white men are bound to respect. I need my glasses. That colored men of African descent are not and cannot be citizens of the United States. You will readily ask me how I am affected by this devilish decision, this Judas incarnation of willfulness. My answer is, and no thanks to the slave-holding wing of the Supreme Court, my hopes were never brighter than now. I have no fear that the national consensus will be put to sleep by such an open, glaring, and seditious tissue of lies. That the decision is and has been over and over shown to be the Supreme Court of the United States is not the only power in this world. It is very great, but the Supreme Court of the Almighty is greater. Just Tannery can do many things, but he cannot perform the impossibilities. He cannot bail out the oceans, exhilarate the firm of earth, or pluck the silvery star of liberty from our northern sky. He may decide and decide again, but he cannot reverse the decision of the Most High. He cannot change the essential nature of things, make evil good and good evil. Happily, for the whole human family, their rights have been defined, declared, and decided in a court higher than the Supreme Court. That was Frederick Douglass' speech. And he's absolutely right. In today's world, especially with the things that we see going on here in the United States, there is a much greater power. And we have to really understand, and we have to really commit ourselves, knowing that we are of much greater power, so that we will not have the mindset of being subjugated. And today's what we're seeing right now. And I also want to go over some things in the Constitution, but Frederick Douglass was absolutely right. We are going through a phase that is intentional. We are going through a psyops, and that psyops is to subjugate you and I even more, for us to be willing participants in surrendering. So let me give some background and history to that. So I want to go to the Constitution, the United States Constitution. The last time that we talked, we went to the Constitution, and I showed you that the Constitution was not anything about citizens, and that the first time the citizen is actually talked about in the Constitution, it talks about a citizen being an officer, holding an office, and that being a House of Representative member or a senator, that a citizen is not the overall heir of the United States of America. Only that was through descendants. And this is why, in the Constitution, it says posterity. And that's what posterity means, your descendants. So we, the people, were the people that signed the Constitution. They are the true heirs of the Constitution. And they are the beneficiaries of the Constitution. Everyone else is subjugant to them. Okay? So now, and another way that is very important, how you know that the Constitution was not written for you. We know that just from being Black. But it's beyond that. It has nothing to do with your color. White people aren't heirs to the Constitution. It is a selective few. It's 29 families that are the heirs to the Constitution only. Mm-hmm. And everyone else is a subjugant of that 29 family. And let me show you how you know this is true. You go to the Constitution. And I want to read something from the Constitution real quick. It's going to be Section 8. Section 8, very important. Section 8. Well, first it's going to be Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
Section 8 of all sections, Section 8.
Section 8 of all sections, Section 8 is going to be the start. Very important. In Section 8, it says that Congress shall have the powers to lay and collect taxes. Remember that. Duties imposed in exercises to pay the debt and provide for the common defense, general welfare of the United States. And all duties imposed in exercises shall be uniformly throughout the United States. They go on to what they can do. To borrow money on the credit of the United States. That word credit is very important. It's very, very important. Credit, the legal definition of credit from the Constitution means this. Credit can be a form of money or medium of exchange. It can be a paper medium of exchange, but it need not be money. But credit can be money, meaning this. Your cash is a paper medium of exchange, but it's not money. But credit can be money, meaning that things that have intrinsic value is what they consider money. Very, very important. That's the definition. So, but goes on. To borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations, among the several states and within the Indian tribes, to establish uniform rules of nationalization. That word nationalization is very important. And uniform laws on the subjects of bankruptcy throughout the United States, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, of foreign coins, and fix the standards of weights and measures. That fix the standards of weights and measures is very important. I'll go over that really quickly, why that's so important. Okay, so that's what Congress can do, right? Now we're going to go over, remember that. Now we're going to go over to Section 10. Section 10, and this is where this all comes together. Section 10 this is what Section 10, Article 1, Section 10 says. No state shall enter into treaty, alliance, and confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal. Basically, go out and take slaves from other countries. Go out and be pirates. That's what a letter of marque and reprisal is. Still in the Constitution because this country was built off of that, and they're still living by that today, setting everything up. That's what a letter of marque and reprisal would be. Only they can go out and do a letter of marque and reprisal. This is why you have mercenary military groups that break off and do things. They can go out and steal oil from Saudi Arabia, from Syria, take from Iran and Iraq, and take from, go to the motherland and steal bodies to come back here to be enslaved here. That's a letter of marque and reprisal. Coin money, emit bills of credit. That makes the bills of credit, and make anything but gold and silver coin a tender and payment of debts. Very important. So now, why is that so important? So if you're really an heir of the U.S. Constitution, if you ever got a tax return, if the government ever owed you anything, if they ever reimbursed you for something, what do they do now, Lance? They send you a check, right? And give you cash. You know why they send you a check and give you cash? Because it's not money. It's not money. What does the Constitution say? The Constitution says that all debts will be paid in what? Gold and silver coin only. So if you were really an heir to the United States, if they owed you something, they would have to send you gold and silver coin only. It's still in the Constitution today, and they still do it.
But they're not abiding by that. That's right. That's something.
They live by that. So you're not an heir of the U.S. You're a citizen. And we're going to look at what that word citizen means. But this is so important. And here's the significance of that. If you were really an heir of the U.S., anything that is owed to you would be paid in gold and silver coin only. And there are entities and institutions that originally started that still get paid that way because they are descendants of the heirs of what? The founders of this nations. That's why they call them founders, because they had a foundation. You have to have they established a foundation for only their descendants. And through subjugation of the citizenry is how those descendancies became wealthy, because they deal in real money. They don't deal in cash. Right? So now, very important. So here's what let me give you the legal definition of citizen real quick. Very important. Black Law's Dictionary. Okay?
Take your time, brother. You're making this.
I have a.
This is digested from you. The way you're breaking it down is like, wow. You're making it seem. I've never learned this in school. But go ahead, brother.
But they don't, because school is only is where they put the lead on you, the leader, and the leader is attached to a leash, and the leash is always in the hands of the handler. What you saw last Wednesday was the handler pulling on the leash that was pulling on the leaders to get their overall domesticated subjects to do what they wanted them to do. We'll talk about that. So Black Law's Dictionary, I have a huge one. Okay, big one. I definitely employ people to get it because you need to know the meaning of words. Reading comprehension is very important. Okay, it can mean the difference between you being able to really understand what the objective is and look past the method. Okay, so Black Law's Dictionary. I will tell you, This is Black Law's Dictionary. This has made my family exceedingly wealthy because we understand what real money is and how these things work. I highly suggest all of you to do those type of things. Know what's going to happen so you can meaningfully protect yourself. So Black Law's Dictionary. Let me read what a citizen is to you. Per Black Law's Dictionary. A citizen. 1 second. Here it is. A citizen is a noun, a person who by either birth or nationalization is a member of a political community. Did you hear what they just said? A political community.
Yes.
Owing allegiance to the community and being entitled to enjoy all of its civil rights and protections. A member of civil state. It says all, and this is a key thing, owing allegiance to the community and being entitled to enjoy all of its civil rights. Remember, Lance, we did the show on civil rights, and the key word in civil rights is the word exactions, means that they can do a willful wrong to you, take what's not owed and what's due. So it's a flaw. So they're tricking everyone. So when you talk about you being a citizen of the United States, you have to understand what that means. You owe your allegiance to a political community. Very important.
And you're walking into the trap.
You're walking in the trap. Here's why that's so important. Within the Constitution, they say that the states can't coin money, emit bills of credit, right? So if they're saying the states can't coin money, emit bills of credit, make debt for the country or for the states, only who can do that, right? Congress can create debt. But here's the key to it. They can't create debt. So what does that mean? That means that somebody can. Someone can. Who can create debt? This is critical. Who can create debt? The original family members can create debt. They didn't want to give that power. What happened when they were writing the Constitution? The city of London, the bankers of Europe wanted to subjugate the founders. They wanted them to have a money system that's based off of debt. And all of the founders, they basically, because they knew the difference between currency and money, they said, no way in the world. This is the mark of the beast. We will lose all of our resources. We will, it will never be good for us. It will be unjust and unwarranted, right? There's no country in Europe that has a paper money system. So they're going to take our resources and give us debt for that. And we're going to accept, we're going to be slaves to them. Think about that for a minute. We're going to be slaves to them. So now, why did they know that? Because they knew the difference between currency and money, because they were slave holders. The wage of a king, every king and a queen is paid in silver. The wage of a lady and a gentleman, someone that works for a king and a queen, is paid in gold, and every slave is paid in debt. Meaning that you will never have any form of wealth, and you will not have any prosperity. You will not have an inheritance of life and sovereignty that you will be able to pass on. You will only pass on debt. This is why we're disenfranchised.
Yes.
Because we don't know the setup. So when they say the states couldn't create bills of credit, that means that somebody could. Who can create bills of credit for the United States? Go to your pocket, pull out a dollar bill. And this is what that dollar bill will say. It will say a U.S. Federal Reserve note. Just told you. So now the U.S. Federal Reserve, the bankers, can make what? Bills of credit on the United States. So who are the Federal Reserve? If you look at the Fed chairman, Powell, Janet Yellen, Ben Bernanke, Alan Greenspan, Paul Volcker. Those were some of the past Fed chairmen. They all will admit to you this, that the Federal Reserve is a private organization. We never have to just tell Congress who they are. It's a private organization. Think about that. What did they just tell you? They said that it's a private organization that can create debt for the nation. You know why? Because that's the original families that signed the Constitution. They can create debt for the United States. They can create bills of credit for the United States. Why? Because it's their foundation. When Europe tried, it was the City of London tried to get the new country under that type of deal where they can subjugate the founders of this nation. The founders of this nation said, no way in the world, we won't go for it. But this is what the deal was. The deal said, you can't do that to us, but you could do it to our citizens. We'll create, this is where you heard fixed weights measures, a standard of fixing weights and measures. That word fix means to establish control. That's the legal definition of the word fix. It means regulation. Regulation means to fix, the word fix means to fix, establish, control. So you should never want the government to fix anything, because if the government fixes anything, they're going to establish control for them. Okay? And here's the big thing about it. This is all legalized right here in this whole thing. The most important thing about this is that these institutions knew that they did not want to be subjugate and enslaved to the bankers of Europe. So what did they do? They cut a deal with the bankers of Europe to say, we're going to be immune to that because we have a foundation, but we will allow our citizens to be subjugated by that, and we'll gain from that as well. This is why you're not paid gold and silver coin as legal tender for all your debts. This is why they owe you something, they give you that. Critical point of that. They made that decision, they fought about it, they cut a deal with the bankers of Europe on September the 10th. No, excuse me. On September the 12th, they came back with a revised vision of the new constitution, where they had the agreement with the bankers that they would subjugate the citizenry, because the deal was cut on September the 11th. Wait a minute. September the 11th. So the first real false flag against the citizenry of this nation was September the 11th, when they established the Constitution. They came back with the revision on September the 12th. That means that the decision was made on September the 11th. What's the notorious correlation between 9/11? Because that's when the first major false flag against the citizenry happened.
And we were distracted.
This is where, and then they created the U.S. Mint, where people could bring their gold and silver to the U.S. Mint, and they would make coinage out of that and give that back to them. But if you bought fake silver, or fake gold to the mint, or fake copper to the mint, they would kill you. It was punishable by death. Why was that? Because if you brought fake silver and fake gold when they were coining it, because when they were coining it, now they were actually taking that overall silver and gold and putting it on their books. So now that they could create debt against that. If it was fake gold or silver, now you would be stealing from them. And what do they think about if you try to steal from them? They will kill you. Very important. So now what I want everybody to do, I need to really show you this before we really get hot and heavy into this. I need you to go to the usdebtclock.org. Everyone go to the usdebtclock.org if you're able to do it. And if you can't do it, just remember usdebtclock.org. Okay, go there. Very important. Something that's there that you need to see. We talked about this. If you look at the US debt clock, I'm going to show you. You look at the usdebtclock.org. Something that's very important about the usdebtclock.org. It says right now, and I talked about this on the first show, the first show that we were doing. The US debt right now is 27 $1.7 trillion. In 2009, the U.S. debt was roughly around 13 trillion. In 2019, the end of 2019, just before the beginning of 2020, last year, it was at 23 trillion. So all of 2020, they created, and it's probably a month and a half behind. So there's probably going to be another 2 trillion that's added to that. So basically they created $10 trillion. What took them to create $10 trillion from 2009 to 2019, they created $1 trillion a year. Okay, so that created 10 trillion, which was 13 to 23 is 10. But what did they do last year? They created 10 years of debt in just 1 year. And now Joe Biden's talking about having a stimulus bill. They just had a stimulus bill that was 2 trillion. So then Joe Biden is going to extend a new stimulus bill of another 2 trillion. What are they doing? They are destroying your livelihood and your ability. What they're doing is they're putting the constraints of subjugation and enslavement even stronger. And they're having all of these events to be the method to hide their objective. Their objective is to make you more submissive and subjugate. It don't matter what your color is. They don't care about color. They care about power. So now, here's what's so important about the U.S. debt clock. Can you see it, Lance?
Yes, nice and clear. Thank you.
So you see it here, 27. Look what it says right here, debt per citizen. Debt per citizen means that for every citizen in the United States, that means a 4-year-old child, a 2-year-old child, anyone that claims the United States citizenship, the debt that they owe is $83,000, $84,000. Debt per taxpayer is $220,000. There's a difference. Anybody that pays taxes in the United States, your debt is $220,000. What does that mean? Before you can even move forward in establishing any form of sovereignty or wealth, you got to pay that off, and you can't. But here's what's so significant about this. What is it that you don't see here? What is it that you don't see here? U.S. debt. Let's look at what that word U.S. debt means. Just put the cursor there and put the cursor there and see what it says. National public debt outstanding, representing the face amount of the principal amount of marketable and non-marketable securities currently outstanding. That's what debt means. Debt per citizen. Debt per citizen means the debt per citizen equals the U.S. national debt divided by the number of citizens. Debt per taxpayer. Debt per taxpayer equals the U.S. national debt divided by U.S. taxpayers. Okay? So now, what did you notice there? What didn't you see? Once again, you notice you don't see there is the United States government debt. The United States government is not in debt. The United States government has assets. They pass all of the debt to who? Their subjugants, citizens. So when you hear the national debt, that's not the federal government. I will tell you this. When Germany lost the war, when Japan lost the war, Japan and Germany, the state of Japan, the corporation of Japan and the corporation of Germany survived and did very well. Its citizens were the ones that died. Its citizens were the ones that suffered. The state of Germany, even though Germany lost the war, Germany didn't pay a dime. Its citizens were the ones. Japan, same. So now, what's happening here? This is where the government is they're creating debt that they don't have to pay, declaring wars that they don't have to fight, and making laws that they don't have to obey. And this is everything we're seeing now is going to enhance that even more. So I want you to really think about it, but go back to here. You want to know what the real debt is, and it's going to be a whole lot more. Look at the outstanding liabilities. Right here, 158 U.S. unfunded liabilities. What does that unfunded liabilities mean? That's what you paid into and what they're short to give you of what you paid into it. So the U.S. government is perfectly fine financially. The citizens aren't, because the citizens are ones that are living by currency, and that currency is going to zero. Nixon said that the strength of a nation's currency is based off of a nation's economy. In August of 1971, August the 15th, 1970, when he closed the gold window. When they closed the gold window, that means that the U.S. citizens were bankrupt. And the U.S. citizens today are even more bankrupt than they've ever been before. And this is why you're seeing real draconian measures being taken over. This is why when you look at what happened at the Capitol building, as I said before, there's no way in the world that any group of people can overrun the Capitol building, because they have acoustic weapons there. But they didn't turn those acoustic weapons on because they wanted that to happen. This is where the handler, the one that was going to gain. So think about it. By all of this that's happening, who's going to gain from this? There's something that you should always follow when trying to find evidence of things. You always try to find means, motive, opportunity, and who gains from this. So when we really think about what's going on right now, who has the means? Who has the motives? Who has the opportunity? And who really is going to gain from this? That's who really committed the crime. Right now, they're trying to blame stuff on Donald Trump. I'm not a proponent of Donald Trump at all. Lance, you and I know Donald Trump from us growing up in New York. What is Donald Trump known for? You and I know, Lance, Donald Trump is known for getting real estate and bankrupting that real estate. They selected him and put him in that position because he was the perfect celebrity figurehead to meet the agenda that they wanted, because he is great at doing what? Driving things into bankruptcy. He's a bankruptcy expert. And what happened here? They said he bankrupted the U.S. No, the U.S. was already bankrupt, but the citizenry was already bankrupt, but they need the perfect scapegoat and figurehead to represent that. What is Donald Trump really invoking here? The bankruptcy of the U.S. financially, and even more this way, by sovereignty. Just now, you had major corporations cut him off from speaking. And they said that what he did was insurrectionist. I want you to think about, they said that he engineered this mob and encouraged this mob to do that and this and that. Well, think about what's really being done here. That there were situations that were put into, they said because he's lying about the overall election. Well, I will tell you this. Every election is always rigged. If voting mattered, folks, it would be illegal. It doesn't matter if you vote or not. It matters who counts the vote. When have you ever seen that the votes were overall validated in a meaningful count? No, they don't do that. But even if they did, it still doesn't matter, because the system is already set up to make you think that you're a participant in it, and you're not. All these elections are rigged. Every single one of them have always been rigged. Okay? When you have real influence and money and control, I said money, not cash. When you have real money, you tell the politicians what to do. Let me show you how. Did Twitter just not tell the politicians what to do? Sorry about that. Did Twitter just not tell the politicians what to do? Yes. Did all of these other corporations just tell the politicians what to do? Absolutely. Because when you go back to the Constitution, why were these individuals, the founders of this nation, why were they so adamant about making sure that they would get paid in money? Because they controlled the industrial movement of this thing. They were the corporations. And it's still that way to this day. So now what's happening? They're using this as an opportunity to gain more control over you. So now, just as they silent Donald Trump, guess what they're going to do? They're going to silence you. Because precedence has now just been set. You've now moved into a draconian, outright fascist state where corporations are the government. And that's exactly what's happening. They are now telling you what to think, what you can do. You won't be able to get on a plane pretty soon unless your credit score, your social credit score, is okay with them. Because this is what they're going to do from this. Look at what they're doing. They're trying to tell that these people are anarchists. These people are insurrectionists. These people are this or that because they did. Now we just open, and us as people, when we give that type of energy to it, we allow them when we allow them to make the rules, they shall rule. Right? If you follow the rules, then they're going to rule. Now what are they basically doing? They're going to dictate what you can say and what you can do. Guess where this happened before? This happened in Germany, in the Weimar Republic, and in Germany. It's going to a fascist state even more so now. And these are the tricks, these are the methods to get to that objective. So now they just kicked Donald Trump off because they said that his speech incited the movement. But they wanted that to happen so that they can have plausible deniability to control the narrative to tell you this is why we had to get more draconian. But
he's been doing it. He's been doing it. And a week before he gets out, all of a sudden now they want to knock him off. But the people now, I'll say, they have other platforms that promise the same freedom of speech, but down the line, none of them do. So many are leaving WhatsApp and leaving Twitter and leaving this and that and going to Telegram and going to Signal, but you're just leaping from the pan into the fire. And that's why they're making this big hoopla now. Sorry, brother, go ahead.
Yes, no, it's absolutely right, Lance. And it's key that we understand that this is what's happening. They're using Donald Trump. They're using a false flag like they've used them all before to tell you what to think because they're going to take even more from you now. So now they just established a protocol where freedom of speech can now be actually nullified through private corporations. Because what does that mean? That means that the corporations are now dictating policy and procedure. And the media is falling on in a hook, line, and sinker. The reason being is because what we talk about, they're professional actors. You know, they're actors. Every actor is a professional liar. You know, Denzel is a great actor because he can make you believe that he was really Malcolm because he was being a great professional liar. Every actor is a professional liar. Once the camera goes on, there's a script that they have to read, and they have to imagine that they have to learn this person, their body language and everything else. So they're lying. They have to talk, and everything else is a deception through the silver screen. So right now, they're establishing even more control over the people. And what's going to the real target is this. They don't care about Donald Trump. They don't care about, he's serving his purpose, right? He's a celebrity figurehead. They don't care about the so-called followers that he has. They don't care about that. What they care about is one thing and one thing only: maintaining control over you and for us to willfully participate, for us to say, yeah, what they did do this and they did do that. But this government has created this disenfranchisement and this subjugation and this slavery from its very inception. So it has been, what does the Declaration of Independence say? If a government becomes tyrannical, you should throw it off. That's in the Declaration of Independence. You could throw off that government. But what are they saying now? Oh, we were scared. Oh, we need to get more control over. I was hiding in my room. I was hiding under. I thought they were going to kill me and this and that. No, it was all stage. It was all stage for this. That could not have happened unless they wanted it to happen. So now we got that. We understand that. So what does this mean for us? You and I. It's very important that we start to prepare, because what's going to happen is that right now is a great opportunity. Here's the opportunity. We are going through deflation right now. And deflation means that goods are goods. Real goods are much cheaper than what they should be. Okay? Governments don't like deflation. It's good for the people. Okay? We are in a momentary, it's always going to go this way for a major economic collapse. And the US dollar is going, every form of currency ever created by man is going to zero. The US dollar is no exception. It is going to go to zero. They're going to pass a midnight bill, watch out for it, and they're going to go back to backing the overall currency of the United States is going to be backed by gold and silver. But by the time they do that, when they do that, it will be too late for you. Because if you have $1 million in the bank, the new currency, because debt is never forgiven. Whenever they tell you about debt jubilee and all of that, there's nowhere in the world. These people have never been honorable. They will never do anything honorable. They won't forgive debt because debt enslaves you. It gives them the power and it takes it away from you. So now they're going to pass where they're going to back the currency by gold and silver in an emergency meeting, an emergency congressional session. And when they do that, they're going to disenfranchise every single person in this country that doesn't have real assets. And that caste system that will come in, if you are locked out at that moment, there will not be anything that you could ever buy or do to get you out of that. How it's going to work is that they're going to have where you're going to have, let's say you got $1 million in cash in the bank. That $1 million in cash is now going to have to be converted into the new currency that's backed by gold and silver. So they're going to say it's going to be a ratio, a change of ratio of 1 million to 1. You got to give up 1 million of the old dollars to get $1 of the new one. What is that going to do to everybody? They just nullified all of your years of work. Because as you get older, you can't do what you were doing when you were young, right? And if you haven't properly saved, then what happens that you won't have the energy output. So now you're going to need actual assets to take care of you for the rest of your life that you can't work, right? So they're going to nullify everything that you ever worked for. And you're going to be under a system that's going to make them even wealthier. One person asked me, said, Dave, why would they do this? Why would they destroy the U.S. and they making so much from the U.S.? Because of this. They are getting wealthy from what they've established in the U.S. Those that control resources, yes. But do you realize that they get even more wealthier destroying it and then rebuilding it? That's why they're going to do it. And that's why we're seeing what they're doing. Because there's more profitability. Case in point, because of COVID, and COVID is a part of this whole thing, in my opinion, because of COVID, the U.S. economy is totally done. The common person's economy, our economy is totally done. It's not ever going to come back. Okay, can't come back. So now when that happens, look at New York City. How much commercial real estate is in New York City that's available right now? How much in LA? How much in major cities? How many businesses have been destroyed from this lockdown and from this pandemic? Many of them. So now what that the wealthy do is they follow a rule. This is the rule. They never, I will tell you this, I teach this to all my clients. The key to profitability is not where you exit, it was where you enter. Profitability is always derived at entry, not at exit. So you want to enter the market correctly, that will establish your profitability, not where you exit. Case in point, if you have $1 million home on your block, the house across the street is $1 million. Person comes in, two people, they want to sell the house. One neighbor sells and they get 1.1 million for it. Other neighbor says, well, they got 1.1 for the house. Let me sell mine too. And they get 1.1 million. Little did you know, the second person that sold their house for 1.1 million, they originally only paid $100,000 for it. So what did they get? A check for 1.1, so they got a profit of $1 million. The person that sold it first, they bought the house at $1 million, but then they sold it at 1.1. They both get a check for 1.1. The entry is at profitability. So the one that entered in that overall housing market at that property and that real estate, they're the ones that really profited because their entry was correct, right? So One of the things that the wealthy always make sure that they do is they always make sure that they enter the market correctly. They are never, ever going to enter the market at a high. I hear people talking about Bitcoin, that major corporations are now getting into Bitcoin. No, they're not. They got into Bitcoin a long time ago. They're telling everybody else that because now they're getting out. They're not going to come in at the high. You can't move. It beats the overall objective of profitability that way. You have to come in low and get out high. So entry is the key to profitability. Why is that so important right now? They crashed this country, and it's going to be the greatest country to invest in. You always want to invest where the disaster is, because that's where the recovery is. They're going to totally destroy this country, and the overall opportunity to get generationally wealthy is going to be greater than the Great Depression, the Great Recession, any other time in the history, because this empire is gone. They want to crash it down so they can make so much more. So what does that mean for you? This is what you should be doing right now. Since we're in deflation, the crisis of destruction goes this way. First deflation, then inflation, then hyperinflation. We're in a deflationary state right now. You can go and get goods that are meaningful for very cheap right now. You need to find those things that have intrinsic value, right? Because once inflation kicks in, it's going to go way up. And once hyperinflation goes in, it's not that it's going up, it's just that your cash being able to buy it, the purchasing power of your dollar is not going to be able to buy it. So you're not going to be able to buy it because you're out of reach now. So what is it that you should be doing right now? You should be acquiring food. You should be acquiring resources, assets, not cash. Use cash to get assets because the cash is going to zero. The cash is what the bankers use to get assets for nothing. Case in point, if you are, let's say you are a professional team owner and you want to, what do those professional team owners do, Lance? They have taxpayers build their stadium. They publicize the overall liabilities, the cost to build the stadium, but they privatize the profits. All of the profits go to who? Their families. That's how this country is set up. The people pay for others' profitability. That's the Constitution. The Constitution says that the people pay for our profitability. So what is it that you should be doing? You should be doing with those that know what real wealth is, those in the Constitution, those families, they know what real money is. And what are they doing? They don't save in cash. They save in things that have intrinsic value. They enter them, they save to be able to acquire things for pennies on the dollar. There were many, many people that were made exceedingly wealthy through the Great Depression. John Kennedy's father was one. Old man Kennedy was one, right? So what do? You acquire assets, you wait for everything to collapse, and you come in and buy it for pennies on the dollar. Now you just made yourself generationally wealthy. We have to break our consumer mentality, because when you consume, remember we talked about eating the fruit, not feeding the roots? When you consume, you will kill the tree. You have to save the tree by feeding the roots. Critical, critical, critical. All this is laid out here in codified laws and languages. And they want you not to know, but they want you to be willful participant and complicit in their wealth building and your destruction. They want to impoverish you because they're stealing your energy, which is extremely valuable for their beneficial gain. So these are some of the things we need to be doing. One, stop consuming. Consuming means this: stop buying things or acquiring things that have no intrinsic value. Consuming means that it will never be enough. You'll never have enough Jordans. Not saying, Jordans don't have an intrinsic value. You have to get things that have intrinsic value, because now you're saving the labor, the energy of your labor for when you can't work anymore. And now you get enough of it. Now you can give a real inheritance to who? Those in your generation that you've yet not named. That's what all of this is all about. That's why we need to prepare. And this is what Lance said. We're not ready for things. Acquire things that have intrinsic value. If it doesn't have intrinsic value, you should not partake in it. You have no interest in it. It's not going to do anything for you. I saw some people with a case, a gold case for their phone. And I'm thinking, why do you have a gold case for your phone? That's imitation gold. It's not real. Why don't you get the real thing that has intrinsic value? But silver is more valuable than gold. And because it's priced so low, that's the trick. They price it lower so you won't get it because they know the intrinsic value and how important silver is. Lance, let me show your audience something that I show my clients. And this is powerful. And I'm going to share this with your audience. But I need y'all to take care of Lance as well. Okay? I'm giving you some stuff I charge. I don't give. There is no discount on money. I made a lot of people. I've done well for a lot of people in their families. Right? Money is never on a discount. It's never a hookup. It doesn't resonate that way. You don't get something if you give nothing.
Right. Some of us think that though. You know,
we've been taught that in school. We've been taught that in this society. This is how we become what we had to endure. Let me show you something very valuable. Let me show you. Let me give you this. Look at the debt clock. You look right here, it says dollar to crypto ratio in 2013. This is when I got into Bitcoin. Got into it a long time ago, 2015, 2014. Look what it says. For every dollar, the ratio is $8,000 to one crypto. Look at where it is now, 24. What does that tell you? The profitability, the time to enter crypto was here. Not now. Look, it's only $24. You're not going to get much. This is the setup. And one of the things about crypto, it ain't real, right? Use it. I use it to start a business. Use it, but don't save in it. Let me show you something else. Look at gold. Look where they tell you gold is going. Dollar to gold ratio. It's going to $34,000 per ounce. That's they're admitting that. There's going to $34,000 an ounce. Look what they say about silver right here. Dollar to silver ratio. $47,000. I mean, $4,700. But let me tell you the trick in that. Here's the trick in that. Lance?
Yes.
So right away you would think from what you've been schooled, and education is not, you don't get educated in this school, right? Because the ones that created the school system, the Rockefeller, says that the general public is childlike and need to be led. With a lead, that's attached to a lease that goes to a leader. Here's what it is. So you would think $34,000 for 1 ounce of gold. Oh my God, I need to get gold. You take right now, take $10,000 in cash and you buy gold right now. It's about $2,000. So you get about 5 ounces of gold. Let's do the math on this. All right. You get 5,000. I mean, you take $10,000, you get 5 ounces of gold. So when gold goes to $34,000, that 5 ounces of gold is now worth $167,000. It's a good return, right, Lance? Real good return. You shouldn't be getting gold. You should be getting silver. Let me tell you how they hide everything. Everything is a trick, but we need to be fundamentally sound in what we know. It says that silver is going to $4,700. You see that, Lance? Did you see it? You want to make sure? So now take that same $10,000, right? Let me real quick. You take that same $10,000 and you buy silver right now. which would give you about 322 ounces of silver for that same $10,000. You did that same $10,000, you got gold, you got 5 ounces of gold, which would yield, once it goes to $34,000, would yield you 167,000. Real good. But if you would have took that same $10,000 and bought silver, you would have got 322 ounces of silver. Silver goes up to $4,700. Guess what that means? You now have $1.5 million. Would you rather, do the math, would you rather 167 or 1.5 million? That's the trick. See, the thing is that silver is 10 times more valuable than gold. They know that. They don't want you to know that. That's why they hide the overall intrinsic value of silver through price. They want you to know the price of everything and know the value of nothing. When you don't know the value of anything, this is why we sell. Gentrification isn't when white people or other people move in, it's when our community sells out. Because we don't know the real intrinsic value of land, we take the first offer that is not going to be a value offer. These things are critical. And if we don't prepare, there takes a real education in preparing. And it's essential that we break what we've been taught and how we're taught to interact with people. Lance and I are very sincere with each other. There isn't anything that I couldn't call Lance for. And there isn't anything that Lance couldn't call me for. If I have it, he has it. Because there's a collective prudence that we have. And until we get back to that, I'll tell you this. I had some clients in Venezuela. Prepared them for the collapse of the Venezuelan economy. They made generationally wealth. Here's what happened. Since they weren't sincere, their wealth became their poison. Just like the people that control these things, their wealth is their poison. They're inebriated in the wine of splendor, and it's never enough. This is why they die. This is why they die. We may think that we want to be like them and have what they have. You got to be that evil then. You have to be that uncaring of another person. You have to be where you'll be willing to take from somebody and not give to somebody. That's because that's how their frequency resonates. They're low frequency individuals. They feel that they need to subjugate and enslave you. I believe in this. We need to walk away from this system. There's no need to give our energy fighting it violently. Just take your energy away. Walk away from it. And how do you walk away from it? One step at a time. You do it with you. You do it with your family. You do it with your community. One step at a time. Do not try to walk into the overall land of milk and honey when you haven't made the first step of exodus out of Egypt. You're going to get lost in the wilderness. You're going to go the wrong way. So these are some of the things that we need to be doing. Man, we need to reconnect ourselves on the ecosystem's economy. The great creator already gave us all of the things of value. And one of the things that's very important in value is this: relationships. What does that medium of exchange mean? How is that played out? How is it that I can want to say that I love someone when Malcolm needed us the most? We abandoned it, Betty and the girls. So did we really love Malcolm, or did we just love what Malcolm was going to be doing for us because we saw that we were going to gain from it? I'll always curse a leech. Always. So,
yes,
Lance, I think we covered a whole lot. I'll tell you, it starts with the table of preparedness: food, water, shelter, energy, right? Food, water, shelter, energy. Very, very, very important. Protection. You have to start with the table of preparedness. And if you look at where things right now is that right now, there's a move to nullify everyone. Now they're going to have a social credit score. Oh, were you one of those? I don't know what they call them. What they call the Trump people? You know, the Trumpers are part of Proud Boys, part of MAGA and everything. This is an old trick. They play the same thing. One of the things about this system is that you got to be careful with it, because they will kill you with experience. They've been doing this for a very long time. Very, very long time. The thing is that you can't try to attack them with where they built up all of their defenses. I don't need to storm any building. I already walked away from it a long time ago, and how I resonate. I don't save in their currency. I wrote my own constitution for my family.
That's right.
I wrote my own. And what it did is it opened up a prosperity that the overall physical world could never catch up to now. So my overall wealth is not stored in the physical realm, but it took me to, because I was so carnal in what I was taught in school, that I had to first walk away from. I had to first walk out of Egypt. My first step out of Egypt in my seasons of Exodus, my first step out of Egypt was physical. Change what I did, change what I read, change what I consume, change my overall energy, change my eating consumption habits, not only physical, but more over spiritual. So real quick, prepare for the collapse of the common person's economy. If you do that, this is what's going to happen. You are going to have so many opportunities to make 3 steps out of Egypt. You may even get to run.
That's right.
You will have so much momentum and traction. If you don't do it, that's on you. It's a choice that's yours.
That's right.
If you want to stay under this system that's built to subjugate you and let them give you the crumbs, I will tell you this. You will never, ever, ever realize who you really are, because you've given your life to the system. This is why they want you to have a pledge of allegiance. This is why they want you. Remember what a citizen is? Where the citizen is? Go back and read that.
That's right.
Is a citizen is, one second, here it is. A person who by either birth or nationalization is a member of a political community, owing allegiance. They're demigods. This is why they have on their currency, "In God we trust." Who's their God? Their laws.
Yes.
That's what makes them wealthy.
Yes.
Their influence. This is their system. Right? But man can't live on bread alone, but on every word that the great creator speaks. Because what great creator spoke now sustains life. So
you made it so clear. Yes.
Prepare for it. And you prepare for it first by relationships. Even if you don't have a dime. And I want to stress this. It doesn't take cash to prepare. It takes sincerity. You have to be sincere. You have to practice collective prudence.
That's right.
That's the first step out of Egypt, because Egypt doesn't want you to do that. Egypt wants you to be a part of the social network.
That's right.
They want you to surrender your overall God-given. Only you can surrender what the great creator gave you. Now that you have it, once the great creator gave us all of this wealth, it's our obligation to grow it and maintain it and to be like the great creator, make more of it. You have to change our mindset. So, Lance.
Yes, my brother.
I'm very pleased at the opportunities that are going to be here for us.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of what the threats are.
That's all they are, threats.
That's all they are, is threats. And their agendas. There's an agenda to all of this. Like I said, they are attacking. Trump is just the overall entry point. He's not the target, it's you. It's me. Right. Now they want to have a code of conduct in everything you do now. Do you see what they're saying? You can't speak against the government. Not saying that what if the election was rigged? I'll tell you, it was. Every election is rigged.
Of course.
Every single one of them are.
Right.
There is no such thing as a Republican. I mean, there's a Republican and a Democrat, but they're both two birds of this. There's the left wing and the right wing. It's the same bird.
Same bird.
They carry the same bird. So, Lance, my battery is about to die. Oh man. Yeah. So.
Oh man. We got to continue. I know this is part 2, but as you feel and as it hits you, I'm a push button away. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I don't care what time it is. I don't care if I'm fast asleep. Keep ringing the phone. I'm telling you, please. We just got to get this out here. This is what I came all the way over here for, this to be in this position. So I'm here for you and I'm here for everybody. And I know that the battery might go. Many people have been asking me, how can they get to you? As far as maybe an email address, a way of contact to contact you.
Email address. So what we could do is that
we can make another one up
at info@prosperitymint.com.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you want to make another one up to give out publicly or whatever, but you know,
I don't do social media.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't do social media, any of that other stuff.
Right.
But Lance, we'll come back because my battery's dying. We will come back and we will give a more concise. I hope you understand the energy that Lance and I have, because there's a sense of urgency, because we're under attack. If you're under attack, I'm under attack.
That's right.
And so there's a sense of urgency that we need to grow up.
Yes.
And what I mean by grow up, we need to accept that, oh shoot, I need to do better. Because we all do. I do. You do. We all need to. Because there's more that we can gain and give.
Exactly.
Very important. Much love, much respect, Lance.
Much love, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for the time spent, the knowledge given. It's phenomenal. It's needed. A lot of us don't even realize what you just gave, but I know your battery might go out. So we'll do another one, a part 3, 4, whatever topic, and just thank you. Thank you so much.
Love you, Lance. You so much, I'm gonna charge my phone and then we'll talk again.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Just hit me up. Here for you.
Okay. Make that connection. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Tomorrow. For me, tomorrow. In the early afternoon, I'm gonna call.
Okay, or whenever. Just make that a connection. Very important.
Yes. Okay.
All right, my brother.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Peace.
All right. Peace. Wow, that was phenomenal. I'm not gonna continue this on long and dilute the power of what he had to share, but he made it so simple. He broke it down so simple, and it makes me realize how confused. I'm not going to say everybody, even me to a point, this clarified some things, but he's so gifted to break it down that way and went right to the point. If you can't see that, then you're in trouble, because we all are slaves. on one level or another. And it's so shrewd. And we have to make a collective effort to pull ourselves out and make this journey into freedom, because it's not going to change. Every 4 years, we're promised this and promised that, but you saw that debt clock, and you saw how he broke down how they have us captive with cash and how we got to get out of that system. But when the crash comes, we can put ourselves in an advantageous position. So I'm going to sign off right now. I know I'm looking a little tired. I was going to do another recording or two and maybe another live, but I will jump on it tomorrow. I do have a run that's very important that I have to do tomorrow, but for many on the East Coast, that'll be at the crack of dawn. So I might jump up at the crack of dawn over here and do a live stream, collect up some footage. I have some miscellaneous footage that I have here. We're going to have our Anthill Chronicles, Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. And we're just going to float the content and make it something that can impact and change your life, change your thinking. Not that I know everything, but if we can bring people to the helm and share what they know, it'll make our lives a lot easier when we have that awareness, because that's all it takes is for us to have that awareness. Is very important, very, very important. Let me play a little music and I'm going to sign off. It seemed like this was just so quick because it was such a sweet thing. We're going to do more of this, seriously, and I promise you that. And I'm not moving at the pace that I can because we got so many other things going, but it's coming, you know, and I'm committed to this. And I want to thank you all for your help, your donations, the energy, the positivity, and it's going to be a heck of an anthill in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. I was all over the place. I hope I made sense and didn't sound crazy. But on that note, let me hit a little music and we're out, okay? Much love. Should we open up the conference line? We have 250 people. 250? Yeah, we had like 302. I don't know. Should we? That's your call, Empress Elegy. If you want to open up the conference line, I'll jump on for a little while. I'll jump on for 10 or 15 minutes. As long as we cover the background noise when we go in, so it's not one big thing of sound. But if you can, if you want to, Empress Elegy, drop the conference line number there, and you can call right now. And is Elegy here with us still? I think she is. But yeah. Open that up and let's rap a little bit about what Brother Dave said, and we can take it for a couple of hours. Like I said, I'm not going to stay a couple of hours, but I'll talk for a good 10, 15 minutes and hear what we want to say. Anyway, call that number right now. Drop it in. I can even change a banner here and make it where you can just see the number across the screen. There it is. There it is. Here it is. Call this number now. Okay, what did I do? Okay, there it is. Let's have a good discussion. If you're not going to talk and you're just going to listen, make sure your phone is muted and watch the background noise. Be polite, be cordial. Everybody will have a chance to speak. Much love, everybody. Peace.
Thank you.